When I started my own garden here in America, I did what everyone does. I went online, I made a list, and I bought everything the list told me to buy. A soil test kit, a moisture meter, 3 different bags of fertilizer, 1 for leaves, 1 for flowers, 1 for all-purpose, whatever that means. I followed the watering schedule. I tilled in spring. Like the video said, I sprayed the first caterpillar I saw, like it had personally insulted me. My garden was fine. Fine is the most expensive word in gardening. Then I went back to Vietnam and spent 2 weeks watching my father. He owns none of those things. He follows none of those rules. He's been ignoring all of them for 40 years. And his garden isn't fine. His garden wins. So today I want to walk you through 5 modern gardening rules. Rules you've probably heard 100 times, and show you what my father does instead. Not because the rules are stupid, because there's a mechanism behind his way, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. And the 5th one, the last one, is the rule I was most sure he had wrong. I argued with him about it. I owe him an apology, and you're about to watch me make it. Let's start with the gadget in everyone's shopping cart. Rule 1. Buy a moisture meter and a soil test kit. I owned both. I stuck the meter in the dirt like a thermometer in a turkey and waited for a machine to tell me about my own garden. My father has a different instrument, 2 fingers. He takes a pinch of soil right where the roots are, not from the surface, from down where the plant actually lives, and he squeezes it in his palm. If it falls apart the moment he opens his hand, too dry. If it packs into a sticky lump, too wet. If it holds its shape, but crumbles at a light touch, that's it. That's the soil you plant in. 3 ounces, no batteries. Think about how your mother checks rice or bread dough. She doesn't measure it. Her hands have done it 10,000 times, and 10,000 repetitions is a better sensor than anything in the store. But here's what surprised me, and this is why I trust him. I asked, what about pH? And he didn't wave it away. He said, my hands can't measure pH. If a plant stays yellow, stays small, season after season, and feeding doesn't fix it, then you take the soil to be tested. His rule isn't never test. His rule is hands for every day, the lab for when you need a number. The modern mistake isn't owning the kit, it's reaching for the kit before you've ever touched your own soil. Rule 2. Water on a schedule. Every beginner guide says it. Water every morning. Water 3 times a week. Set a reminder. My father has never watered because it's time. He waters because the soil asks. Every morning, he pushes a finger into the bed, down about 2 knuckles, near the roots. And this is the part that changed how I garden. The surface lies. The top can look bone dry while everything underneath is still cool and damp. If it's damp down there, he walks away. If it's dry to the fingertip, the soil is loose and the leaves are starting to lose that firmness. Then he waters. And when he waters slowly, right at the base, so it soaks down deep. Here's the mechanism. Give a plant a little sip on the surface every day, and the roots learn a lazy lesson. Stay up here, the water always comes, so they sit shallow. Then one real heat wave arrives. That top inch cooks, and your plant collapses in an afternoon. Water deep and less often, and the roots chase the moisture down where the heat can't reach them. A daily splash isn't kindness, it's raising a plant that never learned to save. Rule 3. Feed your plants. It says how much on the bag. The bag has numbers. The bag has a schedule. The bag is very confident. My father doesn't feed his plants by the bag. He says, feed the soil first. The soil feeds the plant. At the start of the season, the beds get finished compost, fully broken down, dark, done. It's like my mother's fish sauce. Time does the work and you don't rush it. After each harvest, wherever a bed looks tired, he adds a thin layer back. That's the whole feeding program. Extra feeding only happens if a plant that's growing hard, flowering, fruiting, visibly slows down. Then he considers, and when a leaf turns yellow, everyone's first instinct, mine included, is it's hungry, feed it. He told me yellow leaves are a question, not an answer. Maybe the soil is waterlogged and the roots are rotting. Maybe something's chewing them. Maybe the pH is off, and then no amount of fertilizer gets through because the roots can't pick it up. He looks at which leaves yellowed first, old ones or new ones. He checks the roots, he checks the water, then he decides. He put the whole thing in one sentence, and I think about it every time I'm in a garden store. The right amount of fertilizer is food. Too much is poison. Rule 4. Till everything in spring. The satisfying one. Turn the whole bed over, fluff it up, start clean. It looks like progress. It smells like progress. My father tills a bed only when it's genuinely compacted, packed hard, air can't move. Otherwise, he opens the soil only where a seed or a seedling is going in. That's it. The rest of the bed stays untouched, and on top of it he keeps a blanket, dry rice straw, dried leaves, cured grass with no seeds left in it. He has a phrase for it. The soil needs a shirt, because bare soil is exposed soil. Sun hits it and pulls the water straight out. Rain hits it and beats the surface into a crust hard as a plate. But under that blanket, something better than a tiller is already working. Earthworms, old roots, all the small life down there. They're drilling thousands of tiny channels for water and air. 40 years of channels. Run a tiller through it and you've demolished the plumbing to make the surface look nice. He'd rather keep the plumbing. Quick pause, because I know some of you have already quietly broken one of these rules yourselves. What's one piece of modern gardening advice you stopped following, and what happened? Tell me in the comments. No judgment here. This is a safe place for people who talk to their tomatoes. Rule 5. See a pest, kill a pest. This is the one I argued with him about. I found caterpillars on his greens one morning and went looking for something to spray. To me, this was an emergency. To him, apparently, it was Tuesday. He came over, looked at the leaf, and asked me a question I'd never once asked in my own garden. Which insect is this? Because, and I didn't know this, not everything crawling on a leaf is eating your plant. Some of them are there hunting the ones that do. He checks. Is this thing eating one leaf or spreading across the bed? He flips the leaf. Are there eggs underneath? And he looks around it. Are there spiders here? Ladybugs, the hunters? If it's a few caterpillars, he picks them off by hand, removes the worst leaf, done. And if the plant is big and strong, losing a few leaves but still pushing out healthy new growth, sometimes he does nothing at all. He lets it go. That's what I couldn't accept. Do nothing. And then he explained the mechanism, and I felt about 2 feet tall. When you spray everything, you kill everything. The pests and the hunters. But here's the trap. Pests come back fast. They always come back fast. The hunters come back slow. So a sprayed garden becomes a garden with no police force. and now you have to be the police forever. You've signed yourself up for a job the spiders were doing for free. He only acts when the pests are multiplying faster than the plant can handle, and even then he starts with the gentlest thing that works and goes up from there. 40 years and his beds aren't a battlefield. They're a system that mostly polices itself. Even his spacing works this way. The seed packet number is where he starts, not what he obeys. He watches how wide the plant wants to grow, how many hours of sun that spot gets, which way the wind moves, and he leaves gaps for air to walk through when the weather turns damp. The packet gives averages. His garden isn't average, neither is yours. I asked him at the end of those 2 weeks what he really thinks of the modern rulebook, whether it's all wrong. He said the book isn't wrong exactly. The book's mistake is thinking every garden is the same garden. The plant doesn't know what day it is. The soil can't read the numbers on the bag. You look at the soil, the leaves, the sun, the rain, and whatever the garden tells you, that's what you do. My father has a saying, an old Vietnamese farming rhyme, Nat Nwach, Hi Phan Tam Can Tu Giong. First water, then soil and feeding, then daily care, then the seeds, in that order. That's his entire rule book. 4 priorities in order for 40 years. He doesn't need 10 rules from the internet. He's had 4 since before the internet existed. I said his garden wins, so let me show you the evidence, because it's the only kind of evidence he keeps. No spreadsheets, no before and after charts, just beds that produce season after season, and a kitchen that never runs out. My mother took the basket that morning and turned it into lunch, and nobody at the table said much of anything. In our house, that's a standing ovation. One bonus tip before we finish, and it's not throw away your gadgets. Keep them, just do this one thing. For the next month, every time you're about to check the meter, check with your finger first, 2 knuckles down near the roots, make your guess, then look at the meter, score yourself. By the end of the month, you'll know which one you trust. My money's on the finger. It's a 40-year-old trick, and it ships free. So the recap, your hands can read moisture better than a machine, and the lab is for the rare question hands can't answer. Water when the soil asks, deep and slow, not shallow and daily. Feed the soil, not the plant, and treat a yellow leaf as a question. Keep a shirt on your soil. And before you spray, find out who's actually eating, because some of those bugs are on your side. Not 10 rules, mostly just 1. The garden talks. My father's been listening for 40 years. That's what my father taught me. I hope it grows something for you too. See you in the next one.